A man of many talents, one of the finest indie actors, and the one who has done and said some things that earned him the reputation of a weirdo. Without therapy, I don't know how you are supposed to do life. Since he rocketed into the spotlight, Robert Pattinson has been known for giving quirky interviews and doing deeply odd things.
Of just absolute terror.
While cooking a sugar-covered pasta, he nearly burned down his kitchen. He bored to death his stalker so that she simply disappeared. Pattinson often opened up about his dramatic stories. From witnessing a clown's death to pleasuring a dog on set, many of the stories appear to be fakes. Why does he invent them? Are you thrilled to learn? Then subscribe to Rumour Juice YouTube channel and let's explore these not-so-normal things that got Robert Pattinson in trouble and made him look weird. The first time I went to see the circus, one of the clowns died. His little car exploded. It was terrifying. Robert said that was his first and last time at the circus. Dark, right? It sounds like some kind of really traumatic experience, with no less traumatic after effects, but set your mind at rest. The 34-year-old soon-to-be Batman doesn't have any clown-shaped wounds, and he is not scared of Joker. Pattinson simply invented that dramatic story. Perhaps to impress his audience on the Today Show, where he appeared back in 2011. The actor was there to promote his movie Water for Elephants, in which he played a man who ran away with the circus. A week after that interview, he revealed the story had been made up. Someone asked me what my experience with the circus was, and I was like, I have nothing interesting to say. I don't know why I said that. Well, Rob, we wonder as well. Because, again, it's quirky, just like that recipe you invented. A fast food pasta with sugar, pre-sliced cheese, and an exploding microwave. Yeah, you heard me right. Pattinson nearly burned down his kitchen in London. Perhaps being bored on lockdown, he came up with a stunning idea to cook his own pasta dish. Having wrapped the tray in foil, he put that, no, not in an oven, in his microwave. Yeah, that really is not safe. After nearly starting a fire, Robert said, I mean, there's absolutely no chance this is gonna work. Absolutely none. You would be surprised, but the strange recipe went viral. As a result, a lot of memes. Well, for Rob, it's a usual thing. He often breaks the internet, not only with his great acting, but also with some deeply odd things. Perhaps it all started when he was a kid. Rob had two sisters who used to dress him up as a girl and introduce him as Claudia. That was until he turned 12. Pretty eccentric for a shy kid like Rob. Well, that shyness didn't go away even after he skyrocketed to fame. Yes, despite being adored by millions of girls, he is, quote, quite shy. He gets really nervous before interviews and likes to have a little time to think before answering questions. I've always had a problem actually thinking before I open my mouth. Isn't that a little too self-critical? We guess so. But sometimes his mouth really gets him in trouble. Well, we mean people can't tell if he's joking or not.
And I was sleeping with the dog and basically giving the dog a and we and we were asking
that was what you the actor Robert Pattinson were doing, or that's what the character was doing?
It was a character thing.
Yes, he said that he had to perform a sex act on a dog for his movie Good Time. And what's even more shocking, he was allegedly asked to do it for real. Of course, the story spiraled out of control. The next day, Rob clarified his remarks. He said he was not being serious, just another body joke. As Trump would say, fake news. But why on earth would he make up this story? I was trying to make Jimmy laugh only to create confusion and a false impression. Believe it or not, but many of these stories are not even Rob himself. That's, quote, a gremlin in his mind. Perhaps it is him, not Pattinson, who acts out all the time. The actor jokes that during interviews, the gremlin inside him thinks, just say something shocking. You're only here for a few minutes, say something terrible.
This was just pretty aggressively strange.
Well, that's weird, but not boring. We all remember your disdain for boredom. Yes, Rob has a very little patience when it comes to non-creative types. He, quote, would send them behind bars so that they learn to be creative. Well, if that's the case, at one point Pattinson himself would also end up in prison. Once he bored to death his own stalker, who wouldn't let up for 3 weeks. While Rob was filming a movie in Spain, she stood outside of his apartment all day, every day. Eventually, Pattinson took her out to dinner. Out of boredom, of course. He kind of complained about his life for 2 hours, and guess what? Rob never saw her again afterwards. She never returned to the doors of his apartment. Oh dear, hardly can we imagine Rob being boring. Yet that's not the only shocking thing. Believe it or not, he used to steal things as a kid. Not candy bars or gummies, the Twilight star would steal porn magazines and sell them at his elite school in London. I would sell it for like 20 pounds, like 30 bucks. So, morals aside, it seems that his adult magazine hustle was a well-established business. Kind of. As it often happens, in the end, it failed. Pattinson was caught and expelled from his school.
They think I'm too greedy.
Not greedy, but frugal. Despite earning millions for the Twilight Saga, Robert Pattinson says he doesn't like to splash out on lavish purchases. The only thing I've really bought in my life is my car, which costs $1,500 and keeps exploding. Though his father was a vintage car dealer, Robert Pattinson himself is not that used to driving. And who cares? Rob doesn't drive because he gets driven.
Actually, a much better driver now.
Well, practice makes perfect, they say. That's probably what Rob thought when he made up his mind to become a ballet dancer.
I think there's just a ballerina. There's a ballerina inside me.
Yes, you heard him right. He wants to transform himself into a ballerina, but only on screen. He never took ballet classes, and he has not the slightest clue about the techniques. Despite all this, Pattinson says that he has been trying to find a ballet movie for years. That comes as a real surprise. Why does he find it fascinating? The answer is simple. Rob likes tackling those roles no one would expect from him. He loves to take up things that are completely new to him. If I was going after parts which seem somehow relatable to my real self, I would be consistently playing chronically insecure losers. Or perhaps some odd guys, just like Batman, right? Don't get us wrong, but he isolates himself from others, dresses up like a bat, and spends his nights beating up criminals. That's unusual, right? And Rob, as we know, has a penchant for playing unusual roles and sometimes not telling the truth. While he was filming Tenet with Christopher Nolan, Pattinson tried to hide his screen test for the Batman. Yes, he kept that fact a secret. He told Nolan that he had a family emergency. As soon as he said that, Nolan replied, "You're doing the Batman audition, aren't you?"
This guy's crazy!
Yes, that's what we were saying. Not just about Batman. Rob is also like that. Why? Well, he spins in circles, eats mud, forces himself to gag. Sometimes he beats himself on set and sticks his fingers down his throat. Can you imagine his co-stars watching Pattinson doing these things before his scenes? Obviously, this surprised and shocked them. His fellow actor William Dafoe says he finds it wacky. Though he adds he's not trying to judge. Well, and neither do we. We are just wondering why. And here's the possible answer. It's just a method he invented to keep his performances fresh. Though Robert Pattinson says he, quote, doesn't really know how to act. Well, perhaps if he never gets Batman's vibe, people will agree. We guess Robert is ready for that. He's a catastrophist. I'm always thinking that the worst case scenario is actually going to happen. So when it does happen, I'm like, gah, okay, I'm prepared. What if he really fails and his version of Batman is not a success? Don't worry. Rob has an exit strategy all mapped out. He'll, quote, do art house porn. Lol, maybe his biggest fans wouldn't mind seeing that part of Robert Pattinson too. Hold on guys, Rob was simply kidding. Jokes aside, Pattinson believes he is the harshest critic of his own work. Then the star continued, I don't need to worry about anyone else. And what are your thoughts? Do you think he will fail as Bruce Wayne and start doing porn? Share your opinion in the comment section below. As always, we are eager to see your opinion in the comment section below. And do tell us which topic we should cover next. Behind the scenes dramas of your favorite shows? Why did this seemingly perfect couple break up? How come this Hollywood hottie is still alone? Who holds the title of the most fan-friendly celebrity? Make your voice heard and we at Rumour Juice will make sure you are never bored. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to tell your friends how cool we are.